Good morning. Pleasant good morning, colleagues.
Morning, miss.
Pleasant good morning, Miss.
Pleasant good morning to you too.
We are here to do our presentation on technology for teaching, learning one, and we'll give our one colleague is out, 1 minute to get in, and we'll begin. Our recording has already started. So from this, Miss Mackenzie will take over. Good morning, everyone. Our topic is the impact of technology on young mind. Our course name is Technology for Teaching and Learning 1. The group members are Miss Kiuni Gibbons, Miss Natalie Leach, Miss Salochi Rampu, Miss Lashante Peters, Miss Kimawati Randatan, Miss Shanique McKenzie, Miss Miss Keisha Salomon, Miss Alice London, Miss Diomati Danraj, and Miss Lita Rambatan. So our lecturer name is Miss Sharon, and I will be talking about what is technology. Technology is the application of scientific knowledge to the practical aim of human life, or as it's sometimes phrased, to the change and manipulation of human environment. So in simple sense, it's saying that technologies deal with science and it gets so much impact on human life. It changes human life in both positive and negative ways. So I will hand you over to Ms. Diomati Rambatan.
Good morning, fellow colleagues. So this morning I'll be explaining and discussing the disadvantages of technology on young mind. So first of all, lack of relationship with peers. Learners will accommodate and adapt. Social skills. Excessive screen time can obstruct learners' expression and practice of face-to-face conversation in classroom. This results in lack of social skills. So this is basically saying that learners would not possess any kind of communication skills if they are on the devices too much. Next, we have lack of relationship with peers. Learner will accommodate and adapt the fact of being alone and lose interest to build relationship with their peers. For example, making new friends. They would be so comfortable in using devices that they would not want to make friends or socialize with anyone. Health issues. Technology can possibly affect the learner's developing brain, which result in dependency on the gadget. This can cause sleeping disorder and eye strains. For example, wearing of glasses. Learners can have eye issues that would result them in wearing glasses. Lastly, we have ability to focus. Learners increase the quality time spent on device which generate the reduction of ability to focus. Learners rely and depend on devices even in classrooms. This is basically saying that learners would not think about using, for example, we used to have counters in school that would normally help learners to do mathematics. They would use that to count, but now they depend on calculators. Now I'll be handing you over to my fellow colleague, Miss Hollis London, to discuss the advantages of technology on young minds. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Diomati Danraj, for such an introduction and for sharing your part on the disadvantages of technology on young mind. It is my task to introduce the advantages of technology on young mind. One of the advantages will be critical thinkers or thinking. The condition of technology assists learners to access a variety of information to promote critical thinking, such as cartoon videos. For example, now critical thinking expands the learner's thinking ability out of the box. For example, if a teacher is in front of the class, an educator is in front of the class and say, well, okay, the dog ran towards the fence. The technology, if you show that same scene on a projector, on a television screen, the children or the child will get the wider picture while seeing it. It makes them think out of the box, give them the full quality of what is actually going on in the scene. So it expands their thinking. What more can happen? This is what exactly took place. Another advantage is creativity. Creativity. Learners have the opportunity to access crafty video, which results in imagination of ideas and creativity. Now, there are so much things that children would learn to do and like to do, but they do not have the idea of how to get it done, whereby technology has expanded that. If, for example, you want to make a paper airplane, it is easier to watch a video step by step than someone telling you or showing you how to get that done. So technology has created such an advantage when it comes to imagination and being creative with young minds. Advantage of young minds exploring the internet. Through technology, learners obtain the possibility to explore the world, which improves the sensory skills. Now, sensory skills give children an opportunity to learn through visual, expand all the thinking skills and everything you have to see. Children are molded by the environment. They are molded of what they see, what they hear, right? It molds them to become stronger in whatever else is tasked for them to do. So exploring the internet gives them ideas of so many different things that they would have never heard or seen. So that is a great advantage. Finally, there is bonding. Now we know that social skills is a great disadvantage because most times learners would communicate or be attached to their device. But this is also an advantage when it comes to bonding, because communication can be promoted through technology, which allows learners to interact with family members and peers afar. It permits learners to play games and connect with them. This is so great because, for example, if Granny is in a foreign country, or mom is away or dad is away, or you have a friend, your friend, when in the modern days, when you leave school, that is it, you leave your friend at school till the other day. Technology now has given us that opportunity that you can video call, You can do your assignment with your peers. You can study, peers studying. All of that can happen. You can communicate with your family in countries that are not close to you, and not just a phone call, but you can actually see them. So technology has improved our children, young minds so much, and it has been a great advantage in the 21st century, where we have critical thinkers, you have bonding, you have creativity, and so much thing. So I can safely say technology on young minds has been a great, powerful venture. Thank you. I will now introduce you to my colleague, Miss Keisha Solomon, who will be guiding us through a video to get us more vivid into our topic, technology on young minds. Thank you very much.
Oh, little kitty, please look at yourself. Too much social media seems to be affecting you lately. I think it's time to share with you all the consequences of spending too much time online by answering a need of the hour question. What if you spent too much time on social media? Zoom in. Let's be honest, social media helps us to stay connected with friends and family, access educational information, learn about what's happening around the world, and much more. In general, there is no harm in using it. But as we know, too much of anything is bad. And the same can be aptly said for social media too. And believe it or not, we are spending quite some time scrolling through our screens. Yes, according to some studies conducted in 2022, on average, an internet user spends a whopping 6 hours and 53 minutes online per day. So, it won't be wrong to say that people are getting addicted to it the same way people would get addicted to alcohol, cigarettes, or drugs. But how is that possible? Well, it's because just like any other addiction, most social media sites are deliberately designed to have the same addictive effects on our brains by triggering the brain's reward system to release dopamine, the feel-good chemical you get for doing things you like. Though there is nothing wrong with an optimum level of dopamine as our bodies need it for better functioning and staying motivated, but when we start to perform the same thing repetitively, the action becomes less exciting and the brain reduces the level of dopamine. So, to get out of this dopamine deficit state and feel good again, we end up consuming more of these platforms to give us the same pleasure we experienced with a lesser amount before. And as our phones are easily accessible, in no time, we become addicted to these speedy rewards disguised as likes, comments, and other notifications. But the major problem with all this is that these dopamine deficit states can feel similar to depression and anxiety that could harm our professional, social, and academic life. We get used to this quick reward system, and many compulsive social media users end up giving up their hobbies that involve a lot of effort to achieve success. Because of all this, cyberbullying, privacy issues, feeling inferior, and coming across inappropriate content can also have a harsh effect on us, which makes us wonder, what should we do to avoid getting addicted to protect ourselves? Well, the first and foremost thing is to try to actively create time in your schedule when you are not on any screen, as some quiet time can be great brain break. Secondly, while doing an important task like homework, try to get into the habit of keeping your phone far away with your notifications off. Thirdly, spend quality time with friends, family, and with your hobbies. And most importantly, do not share any personal information like your address, phone number, or school name with strangers. Also, pledge not to use technology to hurt anyone else through bullying or gossip. Soon you'll discover countless benefits of living in the real world. Trivia time!
Thank you very much, Miss Solomon. I'm now going to introduce my colleague, Miss Leshawna Peters, to take over from here. Miss Peters? What a wonderful video you would have just viewed. Now, it is tasked that I ask the question, what would you have understand or you would have understood from the video? Can I please have your input or your views of what was understood? Thank you.
Good morning once again. I have understand what I have understand from the video is the video explain both positive and negative impact technology have on human minds, and plus the video talk about what persons or how person get addicted to technology and ways in which you can avoid getting addicted to technology. Like you could go playing and so on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Mackenzie. Miss Peters? Is there anyone else that has an input on what they would have understood? From my view, I understood that technology has both negative and positive effects on young minds. But as it is said, we have to be careful how to use it. And children or young learners should be guided and monitored, because there are so many things that can happen, but then there are so many positive stuff. Cyberbullying and so on can take place on the internet. So parents should guide learners when they're using the devices. Also, it extends their thinking capacity and wisen them so much in so many different ways that couldn't have happened before. So to me, it's a balanced scale. It's a balanced scale, both negative and positive. Now, there's one broad question here that I would like us to debate upon. As educators, we just went through the effects of technology on young minds. And I want each and every one of us to share our thoughts on what we think. So the question is, do you think technology is bad or good for children, and why? So can we start debating, and let us hear the pros and the cons from this topic that is so widely taken over our world today. So we're going to start with Ms. Danraj, please.
Okay, so first off, technology is good in one way by it helps to helps us to have a more vast and more wide variety of new information, while in a bad way sometimes it can lead us astray, and sometimes we tend to take advantage over technology and we tend to use it more than we should. And
Okay, so what would Ms. Gibbons say to that? Ms. Gibbons, can you?
I will just like to add,
Yes.
while technology has made it easier to connect with others and access information, it can also lead to cyberbullying as well. Like through social media, cyberbullying can occur, and also persons can get addicted to it. Thank you.
Very true, very true. So do you think it's a good venture or bad venture?
I would say both, because if you use it wisely and say I'd say if you use it wisely, it can be something good. Also, if you set your mind to use it in other ways, you can end up taking advantage of it.
Okay, very good. Ms. Gibbons, can you share your views?
Yes. Concerning the good and bad for young minds, I would say it is 60% bad for young minds because they'll be so into the device that they will not want to go out and interact, make new friends, and plan activity as little children because they have their own opinion when it comes to creating activity, right? So they will be so into device that they will not have an opinion into sharing what they know because on a device they will not be able to give their point of view. And so that's why I say that it is mostly 60% a bad thing for young minds. But then again, it is 40% good thing for young minds, for the children. Because yes, they will know to say their know to count, they will know how to know new words. So when they're speaking, they can be able to reach to a level where persons can understand, like adults can understand where they are saying. Thank you.
Thank you for your input. Ms. Ramratan, is there any input you would like to share on this topic? It's very widely debated, and there's so many things that we can say and do. But as I said, from my view, it's balance. It's both good and bad. So can we have your view, Ms. Ramratan?
Yes, miss. Technology has its both advantage and disadvantage on young learners. However, in my opinion, I think the disadvantages are more than the advantages. As much as we have technology in our classroom for you to capture the children's attention, it's getting so addictive that the teacher gotta always use technology in classroom to capture these learners' attention, that they can't do these things on their own. They can't hold a focus. And another thing too, to go and interact and with their friends, they would sit all day in classroom at one place. They would not talk. If you have on the television or the monitor, they would just look at that all the time. They wouldn't, when it's off, they wouldn't come out and go and talk, interact with their friends, their peers. No, they wouldn't do that. Yes, thank you, miss.
Thank you very much, colleagues. I think our debate was clear, and we both understand or understood that technology can be both good and bad, but in this 21st century, it is most needed. So thank you very much all for your cooperation and for putting all that you did into this assignment. And I know that it has been a success. Thank you very much.